So I recently picked up the Wii version of WWE 12, and outside of the bare-bones instruction manual and non-existent online manual that I posted a vlog on, I was pretty satisfied with the game for the most part. Now what follows are some initial quick impressions of the game based on the first 3 hours of gameplay. This is not intended to be a full formal review. At the moment, I've yet to try out the Road to WrestleMania or any of the creation tools, and less than a handful of items have been unlocked thus far. This is more of a highlight reel of moments during my initial playthrough of the game and does not reflect any critical overview, just some thoughts that I've had during that time. So without further ado, let's get into WWE 12 for the Nintendo Wii. So WWE 12 opens up with a video, custom made for the game. That's kinda nice, I haven't seen that in a while. Usually they just go straight to the title screen, or if they do use an opening video, it's usually recycled from the shows. I guess that's kinda cool. So jumping into the Universe mode, it's pretty much the same thing as last year's iteration, except now there's a bit more customization, at least from my standpoint. You can change entire shows with a new name, new set, new versus screens, that sort of thing. You can assign different titles to each brand, so if you don't want to use that crummy WWE Championship with the broken spinner, you can change it so that another title is defended. It's a really nice feature actually. It gives you that control and freedom to shape the WWE Universe to your own personal liking, especially once you start unlocking the various arenas and titles instead, that sort of thing. Speaking of titles, you could actually have title matches at any time with any titles. You know, you want to have a world title match on Superstars in the opening match, you can do that. You know, it's a huge step up over last year, which didn't even let you book the major title matches, you know, unless it was on the pay-per-view, or if the champion had a secondary title. You know, so that's kind of cool. So I decided to book my first match in the Universe mode as CM Punk vs John Cena. CM Punk has Cult of Personality as his theme music. Quite a pleasant surprise that they would actually include that. I mean, they could have easily used his old music instead, or go the less desirable route of cooking up the lesser cover theme. Instead, they've managed to get the rights to the song and put it in the game. So kudos to THQ for taking the high road on this one. So first match into the Universe mode, and I'm already assaulted with sports entertainment, as John Cena is assaulted not only once before the match even begins, but again during the match. It's a rather annoying feature, but fortunately it doesn't happen often as play progresses. Unfortunately, the match ends rather quickly as a result, with my CM Punk getting a quick pin over John Cena without lifting a finger. And the sad part is I didn't even get a chance to learn the ropes of the game. I just got an automatic pin, I didn't have to do any of the work. And thus, I didn't get a chance to even try the game out. I'm already dreading this Universe mode, and it's my first match in. So right after CM Punk wins his match over John Cena, Brock Lesnar comes out and attacks him, with Michael Cole pointing out that Lesnar has re-signed with WWE. A pipe dream if there ever was one. So congratulations are in order. Despite only wrestling one match, I've already unlocked Brock Lesnar as a playable character. Amazing. And that was the guy people made a big deal over when they made the big reveal, other than The Rock. Oh well. Another nice thing they did here, they actually managed to put in Alberto Del Rio's personal ring announcer to the game instead of cutting him off altogether. Unfortunately, Ricardo Rodriguez looks like crap, and he sounds rather bored when doing the actual announcing, almost as if he did it without any sleep. Oh yeah, Del Rio himself is not particularly good looking either. He looks almost cartoonish, not at all looking like what he actually does and stuff, and doesn't look that well, let's just put it that way. Ugh. After defending my title, a cutscene plays where Stone Cold Steve Austin comes out to beat everybody up. In a fuck-up moment, Stone Cold is coming out to No Chance in Hell, which is not his usual theme, but rather that of his nemesis, Vince McMahon. Clearly, quality control was having an off day here, and I worry if corners were cut to pump in as much content as they could into this Wii game. Now, fortunately, Stone Cold does come out to his own theme music and even has his vest, which was something that was missing from last year's Wii offering. So, we dodged a bullet with that one. Eventually, I get to wrestle a match without sports entertainment cutting in. For the most part, the game feels a bit slower, almost sluggish, almost. There are times where I feel the game is skipping frames on me, but it could be just me. One thing that has changed, they did away with the ridiculous right analog grapple mechanics and went back to an old school grapple button. It takes me a while to get used to it, especially considering how many games prior had the right analog thing. But personally, I prefer this over that analog stuff. Control on the classic controller is rather awkward, at least for me. I keep forgetting there's 2 additional trigger buttons on each side. I should probably just whip out the Classic Controller Pro for this one, since it resembles a PlayStation controller, more like a modern console controller. The Classic Controller, at least for me, feels weird playing a game like this, but whatever. Something I discovered late during my initial session is that you could actually book title matches in the Plain Jane Exhibition mode. None of the title matches in the Exhibition mode will affect Universe mode, but the game does keep track of who's champion in the Plain Jane Exhibition, so you got 2 sets of champions being kept track of. The Universe mode champions and the Outside Universe mode champions. It's a rather nice touch, actually. I personally like to have title matches that don't involve sports entertainment, and I'm sure other folks would too. So, there we go. No sports entertainment in the Exhibition mode means I'm happy. Nice touch. Now, I did eventually decided towards the end to dabble into the road to WrestleMania. And the mode starts off with me controlling John Cena while wearing the World Heavyweight Championship. After a minute of walking around like an idiot, I switch off and go back to Universe mode and fiddle around with that universe. I'll have to see how the road to WrestleMania works when I'm at a much safer mental state. Although I've heard from a friend that it wasn't very good, and he told me to wait until they have a save file on the net with everything unlocked so I could have the most toys to play with, since the majority of the really good stuff like the WCW arenas and championships are unlocked through this mode. Although I gotta admit, John Cena walking past the Big Show while he's beating up on Jack Swagger is kind of funny, so there. Alright, so I tossed together a quick custom wrestler named Generic Blubba, or Generic Bubba, or whatever the hell I called him. Wanted to try out to create a wrestler options. Pretty much the same thing as last year's offering. I'm not too sure about the swag though. I don't know if there's any differences or anything. I didn't really look too deeply into it. But anyone hoping that their creation will have their own portrait or versus pose will be left hanging. It's the same generic shadow figure once again as the past couple entries. Shame, really. So here's that menu in the Universe mode where you could customize the brand's titles, show's name, arena, whatnot. Right now I'm just swapping titles around so I don't have to have that goddamn spinner belt as the main championship. I could use the Attitude Era WWE Championship if I wanted to, or the Undisputed title even. Nice option, I like it. You know, the more championships you unlock, obviously, the more choices you have to customize your brand, which is rather nice. I kind of like this, so can't complain. So those are some brief and random thoughts on the Wii version of WWE 12 after the first playthrough. Like I said before, this wasn't meant to be a full review or anything like that. It's just me fussing around with the game and sharing some initial impressions. Most likely I'll change my tune on certain things as I got farther into the game, but I just wanted to get some thoughts down and basically make a little video out of it because I figured, why not? Got nothing better to do. So, that's just about does it. Thanks for watching and take care. Till next time. Later.
He's probably waiting to pick his spot. The only problem is, I'm not sure how much he has left. Again, the championship title at stake in this contest. His shoulders are down. 1, 2, 3. Sheamus holds on to the championship.
Bye.